The hidden Social Security math nobody shows. Retirees can quietly cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, and most people never realize it until it's too late. Every calculator you see online tells the same story. Wait until 70. That's how you maximize Social Security. They show you a neat little break-even age, usually somewhere around 79, 80, maybe 81, and it feels logical. Delay a few years. Get a bigger check for life. Live long enough, and you win. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That math is incomplete, and for most retirees, it's deeply misleading. If you're watching this and planning your retirement, you deserve to see the full picture, not the version that looks clean on a spreadsheet but ignores how real life actually works. Let me walk you through what's missing. Imagine a retiree who's 65 years old today, single. Let's say a man, just to keep the example simple, if he claims Social Security now, he receives roughly $2,400 a month. That's close to $28,000 per year. If he waits until age 70, that benefit grows to around $3,400 a month, a little over $40,000 per year. So the calculator says, look, you waited 5 years, but now you're getting about $12,000 more every year. If you live long enough, it pays off. And then it spits out the magic number. Break, even at age 81. That's the number everyone focuses on. But here's the first problem. That calculation assumes something impossible. It assumes that money, you didn't spend money sitting in your portfolio, earns absolutely nothing. Zero growth, zero return, zero opportunity. And that assumption quietly breaks the entire equation because delaying Social Security isn't free. If you don't take Social Security between 65 and 70, you still have to live. You still pay bills. You still buy groceries. You still travel, help family, fix the house, enjoy life. So where does that money come from? Your portfolio. Now let's look at what actually happens. Say this retiree wants to spend $100,000 a year in retirement. If he claims Social Security at 65, roughly $28,000 comes from Social Security, and the remaining $72,000 comes from his investments. But if he delays Social Security until 70, he has to pull the entire $100,000 from his portfolio every single year for 5 years. That's an extra $28,000 per year coming out of his investments. Over 5 years, that's about $140,000. Money that could have stayed invested, money that could have grown, money that could have reduced risk. And that's the second problem calculators ignore. A dollar today is more valuable than a dollar tomorrow. Not just because of inflation, but because today's dollar can work for you. Financial planners call this the time value of money. And when you actually include it, the so-called break-even age moves much farther out than anyone expects. Let's say your portfolio earns a very conservative 4% return. Nothing aggressive, nothing unrealistic. When you factor that into the math, the break-even age doesn't land at 81 anymore. It moves to around 87. That's 6 extra years you must live just to break even. Now increase the return slightly, still reasonable, to 5%. Suddenly the break-even age jumps to around 90. At 6%, which many balanced portfolios aim for over the long term, the break-even point doesn't arrive until around age 95 or 96. And here's where reality steps in. According to Social Security's own actuarial tables, a 65-year-old man has about a 33% chance of reaching age 87, about a 21% chance of reaching age 90, and less than a 5% chance of reaching age 96. Let that sink in. Delaying Social Security until 70 often means betting your retirement on an outcome that has a 95% chance of never happening. If someone offered you a financial deal with a 5% chance of success and a 95% chance of failure, would you take it? Most people wouldn't yet. That's exactly what many retirees are unknowingly doing. And there's another risk calculators don't show. Those early retirement years are the most fragile. The first 5 to 10 years of retirement carry the highest danger because of something called sequence of returns risk. If the market drops early while you're pulling large amounts from your portfolio, the damage can be permanent. Delaying Social Security forces you to take more from your investments during that exact vulnerable window. One bad market year, one recession, one unexpected event, and suddenly your optimized plan starts to crack. But there's something even bigger that spreadsheets can't measure. At 65, your money gives you experiences. At 90, your money mostly pays for necessities. At 65, you can walk the streets of Europe, climb steps, travel in an RV, play on the floor with your grandkids, build memories while your body still cooperates. At 90, the priorities change. The spending shifts from joy to care. So when calculators tell you to optimize for the highest check at the oldest possible age, they're optimizing for the wrong phase of life. They're maximizing income when your ability to enjoy it is often lowest. That's the hidden Social Security math nobody shows retirees. Now, this doesn't mean everyone should claim early. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, but there is a smarter way to decide. Here's a simple framework you can think through. First, estimate a realistic rate of return for your investments. Conservative investors might use 4%. Balanced investors might use 5%. More aggressive investors might use 6%. Be honest, not hopeful, not fearful. Second, look at actual life expectancy probabilities, not averages. Social Security publishes tables that show the odds of reaching different ages. Averages are misleading. Probability matters. Consider your health, your family history, your lifestyle. Third, stress test your bridge years. Those are the years you live off your portfolio while delaying Social Security. Ask yourself one question. If the market drops early, can my plan survive? Not on paper, but emotionally and practically. And finally, ask a question most people forget. Will delaying Social Security actually improve my life or just my spreadsheet? Because retirement isn't just about surviving longer. It's about living better while you can. Standard calculators focus on simple break-even math. Real planning considers opportunity cost, risk, timing, and quality of life. For many retirees, when you run the real math, not the simplified version, delaying Social Security doesn't produce the benefit they were promised. In fact, it can quietly reduce flexibility, increase risk, and delay enjoyment during the most valuable years of retirement. The difference isn't small. It can be hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime spending money you could actually use instead of money you might never see. That's the hidden Social Security math nobody shows retirees. And once you see it, you'll never look at those calculators the same way again.